Now here I put together 5 principles that turn raw data into decision making. One, keep it simple. So simplicity is not about the absence of thought, it is clarity of purpose. There are things that you don't have to bring everything you have been doing and clutter it on one page. Just keep it simple to make sure that um, even the people who are going to review or look at your report, they quickly understand what you're talking about. And here we have a principle or a rule that we call the 5 second rule or the 5 second test. The moment someone looks at your report and they take more than 5 seconds before they understand exactly what you're trying to present to them or exactly what you're trying to report, know that you're still missing a lot or you still need to do a lot to make sure that it reaches into that purpose. Now, that now brings you to how you have to keep it simple. Keep very few visuals on a single page or a slide. Even if it is a presentation, not only the data analysis, even if it is the qualitative presentation, you're presenting maybe a project, a strategy, keep it simple. In 5 minutes, in 5 seconds, people should know what you're trying to present to them. So now here, what do we need to do? We lead with 3 to 5 key numbers, not 15. Just have the 3 to 5 numbers you're going to present. Revenue, net profit, maybe cost of goods, the customers, active customers, and all. Don't exceed 5. If you have exceeded 5, then it shouldn't be above 6. So keep the KPIs in that range. Then you give the charts a white space so that they can breathe. We are going to look at that. Actually, we looked at it last time when we were looking at our design. That actually I can open the design here. That when you're looking at the design, what do you look forward for is to make sure that you don't have it cluttered. Keep a white space. Make one clear message, the star of each view. So every view you present, let it not show a lot of stuff that you see, this is what we are talking about. You remember when we are saying that the moment you're putting your planning together and you're leaving that white space in the middle, that white space is required. You see that white space where someone's eyes will land and rest. I'm looking at these scorecards, but the moment I'm done with the scorecards, let there be a breathing space between the scorecards and the other charts. So that's what they mean here. So design, so the point is obvious in 5 seconds. I have talked about that. And the don'ts, obviously, it is the inverse of the do's here when you're making it simple. Don't cram every chart you have on the screen. Because now for you as a developer, you feel like every chart looks nice for you, you have to put it on the screen. You find that you even have a pie chart that has the same data or that is representing the same data with the bar chart on the side. You get? It is the hype of the visuals you're bringing on board, not the context of the decisions you want to be done from that data you're presenting. Get rid of the 3D and the 3D charts, gauges and gradients for decoration. You find that you have created a pie chart, it is just decorated with a gradient. Just use solid colors and let those colors be simple. Don't fill every pixel just because it is empty. So you need to have a white space somewhere to make sure that the eyes have a rest. Don't force people to hunt for what matters. You have built a dashboard, but someone to get the total revenue, they have to make 5 clicks to reach the number. No, don't make people hunt for what they need. Just put it straight. If it is an executive dashboard, look out for the KPIs you need to present on an executive dashboard. Do that. Then show what matters. You should focus on the few metrics that drive a meaning. That the problem you're trying to solve for the business now, not all the problems the business has been facing in the last 2 years, and you want to concentrate everything in one dashboard. So that is it. Make sure that your data is telling a story. Show the metrics that change decisions. That if I take this to the executive or the CEO, we are going to discuss about why customers are not the active customers are not increasing, why the churn rate is high, something like that. Maybe why the procurement process is becoming so long, something like that. Why do we have a delay between the LPO and the GRN, something like that. So not sinking in all the problems, the logistics problems, the sales problems, the finance problems, you all cram them in one dashboard. So that's it. Show what matters. Put the most important numbers at the top. You saw how we did with our design, that we put the most important numbers at the top. Which numbers were those? Those were like the scorecards which give us summaries. Then make sure that you size and place them by the importance they carry. So you can't put the total revenue and the company growth at the bottom. Then you bring what can I say? Then you bring maybe sales performance versus their targets given. You bring it on the top, and it is an executive meeting. In an executive meeting, the EDs, the directors, don't want to know which salesperson is winning the other. What they need to know, which region is driving growth for the business, then they can focus there. So they don't need the personality details. That's why you have to make sure that you grade your data. And obviously you add context. What does adding context mean? I remember we still have our dashboard here. If I can pull it and bring it here with us. You remember this dashboard? So when you look at that dashboard, this is the context they are talking about. You have given a number, but you need to put context that, by the way, the revenue is this, but when we look at year over year, this is what we have. When we look at month on month, this is the growth we have. Such that it gives an impression to whoever you're presenting to that, by the way, we have a positive growth. When we look at the year last year and this year, from same period last year, we have grown by 12%. When you look at last month and this month, we have grown by 4%. That is the context they are talking about. Giving this number, the question is, so what? Did we grow? Are we declining? Are we stable? What do we need to do? So don't let people ask many questions. Then don't show data just because you collected it. We talked about this even last time. Remove data that is not going to solve the problem while you're doing the analysis. Then give each chart the same size and weight. Then also lean on vanity metrics that look nice. Those are the metrics I was talking about. You bring like a donut chart that even doesn't speak to the problem you're solving, but because it looks nice to you, you dump it on the dashboard. And people are looking at, what do we need to decide with the report you're presenting to us. Here there is a donut chart. You can't even explain it why it existed there, but because it looked nice for you, you tried to make nice dashboards, but not dashboards with context. Don't bury the one insight under 20 tiles. That is exactly what we said here. Put the data metrics that matter at the top. So, design for the people, don't design for yourself. So, make it easy for the people to understand, to see, and also accessible. That whenever they open the dashboard, it is just a one click, they have the numbers. Not clicking ta 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 ta, then they even get lost how many clicks they have done. So you build with clear hierarchy. You use familiar charts, what charts people understand. Yeah, we know when we go to Power BI, we have a lot of charts here. We have a lot of charts here, and even there are a lot more when you go to add visuals, you will get like thousands of them. Use the charts people are used to. Like these top lines, these are the charts people are used to. You're going to bring a chart. Yes, it is looks nice. It splits and creates a story for the data, but people can't interpret it. Okay, so don't rely on the color alone to carry the meaning. Ignore small screens and low vision users. So yeah, sometimes when you're creating, we are going to look at that how you change the resolution of your report. We are going to look at that. Just make me remember. You have to ignore the low resolutions because when they tell you present that report on a bigger screen in the boardroom, it just doesn't make sense. Like it goes just in the middle, small like this, and leaving out a blank or a black space at the bottom and all the other sides. It means that your report was having a low resolution. And when you try to enlarge it loses some of the pixels, like it becomes blurry, something like that. So we shall also look at that. All these are design principles. Then the fourth, use color with purpose. The color you're using should be having an informative meaning. Don't use colors to decorate. Don't use all the colors on the rainbow to pass your report should not have more than 3 colors. That is uh, black and white not counted. And red and green are always used for their purpose. Red meaning stability, green meaning growth and positive change. Red, it always show you alerts and what needs attention. Blue will always show trust, stability, trends. That's why you see that most of the charts and bar graphs and column charts, we always use blue because it shows the trust and stability. Then for the gray, this one is you always use for everything else. We are going to look at that when we start the visuals. Don't use a full rainbow color. We have talked about that. Don't change what a color means between the charts. You have a red, but you're explaining, but by the way, you see a red, it means that we are doing well. That is already a disorganization. People already know green stands for this, red stands for the other. So when you interchange them, you'll need now to explain a lot. So don't make red and versus green your only signals. Like the whole dashboard is having red and green, red and green. There has to be the gray areas, right? Then don't pick colors because they look pretty. Pick colors depending even on the company or organization theme. If your company logo is let me show you an example. You see, this is my logo, Subtech Online. So you'll find that even my videos, my presentations, always have this theme. You can even look at the footer. It is purplish. But why don't I use red mostly? Because the red picks something else, which I don't want to use. So I will always go with the purple bit of it, which is this. So now you can understand that when you're putting up a dashboard, you have to look at the color theme of the company. And if the color theme or the company has a red color or a green color, minimize using it mostly in your charts. Use the other colors, then the green will always come in to create maybe gradients of some context at the bottom or the backgrounds and all that. Okay, your dashboard should tell a story. So a great dashboard has a beginning, the middle, and it has to lead people from the inside to action. Whenever you're presenting, you're giving people the context. You're telling people what is happening. Then the middle explore the why. Now the why is where you give some of the visuals, like we are increasing or the growth is this, and that is now on the inside. Then you should also drive them to the action, what they need to do, which counts at the end of the day. So don't leave the viewers wondering what is the next step. Always give them the next step. I will present a dashboard, but at the bottom you put like a text asking for a decision. What decision do we go with after looking at this data? Do we start the promotion or we hold the promotion? So those are the decisions you come up with. Like your dashboard should prick people to always have an action to be done. The don't dump charts with no order or narrative. Don't make people to guess the takeaway themselves. Like you have presented, now we're asking ourselves, what summarizes all this? What do we take away? Is the company in the right trend, or do we need an action to input? Maybe something is missing out. So also don't stop at here is the data. Like if I can show you this. So when we are putting together this, we didn't stop at here is the revenue. We went ahead and gave the what do we have Y to date and what do we have month to date. And by the way, we are growing this. And what we are going to look at is even contextualizing the color here, make it green, make it red to make sure that the user knows, oh, green is growth, oh, we are running low here, something like that. So, obviously, this was something I wanted us to go through. Every class I always take through data visualization. These are some of the hints I give them. Whatever you have done, whatever the struggle you have gone through with all the other modules, you collected the data, you transformed and cleaned the data, you went into data modeling and modeled your data royal, you came and did DAX, and all your expressions are looking smart and well presented. But you reach a point of data visualization, you can't put together the different visuals that exactly explain the back end of what you have been doing. So it at the end of the day, all the other time is wasted, and which I think we should now train more, even if it is qualitative, not only looking at Power BI, but even the qualitative presentations you have, they always have to run these through these principles. The moment you deviate, you'll find that you are explaining a lot. Like when you share a presentation on mail, you will need also to walk as your presentation is being received. You'll need to walk to that office you explain before they open it and misquote some of the things. That's not the way how things are supposed to be done. Okay, so I think that's it. Hope if there is any question on this, please you can raise the question before we drop into our core for today. Do we have any question? Yes, Linda.
So thanks. So does that mean that if I have a certain KPI I'm focusing on, I should only focus on one KPI, or if there are five, I put all the five on the dashboard? What happens in that case? If you have five KPIs you want to present,
Mm,
however, there's a
no.
decision you want to be made
Mhm.
for about two KPIs.
Mm.
What do you do in that case?
Now you see here we are looking at an average of 6 KPIs, right? Okay, quantity sold and orders may be like the same KPI. Now I think my screen is still visible. Yes. When you look at what I'm presenting right now, this is we are focusing at a minimum of 6 KPIs. So we are reporting revenue, we are reporting profits, which can even be net profit depending on what you need. We are reporting orders, quantities sold, of which this can be one can be skipped out, and you go with the other. Then you have margin here. This gross margin can be joined here as you have a number and a percentage, which means we don't count it as a KPI on its own. So this and this, they look to be the same, which means you can always join them. So now, how many KPIs are we having here? Revenue, profit or profit and margin, Then we have orders and the quantities sold. Obviously, the order will always come with quantities sold. So the moment you report the orders, quantities sold comes in handy. Then you have the average order value, which also runs with this. So averagely, you look at 6 scorecards, but these in a concentrated reporting, they are 4 to 5 KPIs, right? Which is very fine. What we are talking about, like you don't have to report more than, because I was saying 3 to 5 KPIs. You find that you are reporting, this is all about revenue and margins. Then you bring also what, only that here we're looking at those KPIs. Okay, let's say here you bring cost of goods, maybe you bring expenditure to the company, maybe you bring financial KPIs like EBITDA and all that. You find that everything is cluttered here. Now, someone who is consuming revenue, okay, someone who is consuming orders, quantities sold, and revenue, who may be on the commercial end, may not want to know what is our EBITDA right now, may not want to know what is the business spending on internet, right? That's why now you have to flip that on another report or another page, right? Such that if your pages are marked and this is a commercial page, this is a financials page, this is a procurement and logistics or supply chain, maintain at least 3 to 5 on every page, such that every page will run with its context. At the end here, you can always have an explanatory statement. Like we shall look at that as we go on, where it explains what is happening this side. In the month of this month we are over than the other month because of the 5 maybe products which we are selling more, and a USB food drive selling this percentage more than the others. Now that becomes a context, and now you have a question here, because you present this dashboard with a lot of questions that were put together, or a strategy that you're trying to sell. Should we go with the promotion of the products which have failed to sell? Maybe the 5 bottom products, which maybe is joke mag, this, that. So the moment you have presented this, and the decision makers have looked at the numbers, we are growing, but most of our money right now, or our cash flow, is tied into these 5 products, and you're asking them to have a discount or a promotion run for these. Or these ones are run with, you buy 5 USB, we give you 1 joke mug, something like that. Because this is already a slob. It means that if they are tending to their expiry, you're going to lose them completely as a business. So you're trying to recover some money for the business by running more revenues here, by bringing, you buy 5 of this, we give you 1 joke mug. So that can be now the question here. And creating such questionnaires, that problem, it's very easy on this dashboard. It is just a matter of inserting. I updated my, okay. It is just a matter of inserting a text. And you come and insert this at the bottom here. You put it very well in your design such that it doesn't clutter. Then you bring here your text. All what you have been discussing as strategies, you bring them here. Such that after you have discussed the data here, someone should look at these questions. Even you can make the header decisions to be made. It means that however much I interact with this report, me as a CEO, there are questions waiting for me. That is the action. You're pushing this person to action. That's what we call data-driven decisions. That someone is going to create to have these decisions made after looking at the data, not just not theoretical. That, you know what, last year we did a promotion on this and we did well. No, not that way. So I think that answers the question. Hope it answers the
Yes,
question.
thank you. Thank you.
Yes, so the KPIs, you don't look at the blocks you have, you look at the context of the the data you're covering here. How many KPIs does it hold? Because average order value and order, but every organization has its own KPIs. So you may find that the company orders and average order value, these are different two KPIs. So they can run both different. But somewhere else, orders and average order value, it's nearly the same KPI. Because you can't have this average order value improve if you can't have more orders going out, right? Or you can't have more quantities sold if you can't have this and this, they are directly or positively correlating together. Yeah, I think that's it. Hope Nolina all is good. So we shall carry it on from where we stopped last time. So obviously, I will open our previous file. Our previous file was this. Yeah, this. So as we always say, reversioning our files, I'm going to create now a new version for this by saving as such that you don't use the same file we used last time. Just in case we have any issue, we can always recover the previous version. So how you do that, let it open. How you do that is saving it as a different one. So last time, this is where we packed, and it was nice having this. So we ended up with creating uh, how block decision remove. Okay. So last time we ended up with um, how do we bring a background from our plan? That was the PowerPoint. But now that was just running through how you do it. But now this can't be the background you run with. It has, the contrast is high, that the background color obstructs the context of what we are presenting. So that's why we are going to change this, and I show you how we pick the background. So when you look at the PowerPoint that we had before, this is what we had exported. But when we went ahead to work on this to tune it more, giving it shadows and background, this is what we came up with. And we all noted that at the end of the day, this is the background you may need the other side. A faint, uh, this, a faint pen where we are going to put our different pens of the pages, then the scorecards here and all that. So last time we found out scorecards, we may need more space, which means I may select the whole of this and increase a bit. Then I think that's it. So remember, I can change that to make sure that it doesn't pick huge corners. So how we do that, let me see, copy paste, no, the corner doesn't. So you can go ahead changing one by one, or you can repeat by copying and pasting the same again on all. So how we create, okay, here we go. Now, when we are done with this, we save it as, we export, right? So I'll first save to make sure that I've saved this. Then I'll go ahead and export. So here, file. Actually, I'm using MacBook. For you, the file should be here. So I'll go ahead and export. So when you are exporting your background, don't export it in any of the file types rather than a JPEG. Then there is another export we use which is called SVG, which is scalable vector file. So here we always go for PNG. So PNG, why do we go for PNG? That uh, any space where you didn't fill a color, PNG also leaves it as a transparent. But when you do JPEG, it fills all the transparency with white. So that's it. So I'll come here and our folder, this, then I'll rename this as the PBI BG background. So we save it as that, and we have to make sure that we are saving the current slide only. And we go ahead, don't tamper with the width and the height. It is already taken care of by PowerPoint. So we shall go ahead and export. So this is not the mandatory way that you always have to create your backgrounds. You can even create your backgrounds natively directly from Power BI. But some of the times it becomes so hard or time consuming to create those backgrounds from there. So for the start, you start with this. Then with time, you'll gain now the knowledge on how to put shadows and all that in the native Power BI file itself. So we have already exported that. Hope it is there. So here it is, but I'm going to create a copy in downloads such that I can access it. So when we go now to Power BI, here we go. So first of all, I don't need all this. I'll create a new page. Actually, I will cancel this and yeah, I need to delete that. I no longer need it. But remember, I haven't saved as. So I will also cancel this and delete this. So I'll come here, save as, then come to July. Because it is the recent, I'm already having it there. So here I'll put data visualization. You can put here session 6, July cohort. Okay, that's it. So now here we have already saved a new file. It means that I'm no longer working in the other version. In case I have issues here, I can always go back and pick it up. Now, let's go ahead and bring our background here. Now, before you bring the background, this is what we talked about when I was presenting the do's and the don'ts. You need to create a high resolution. The high resolution, you always come on format canvas. Then I hope this is visible. So these are the format settings for the canvas, because remember I right clicked here and said format canvas. Now the page details, leave them like this. So here it will always be telling you which page you're dealing with. Now, why am I formatting canvas before I create other pages? Because I don't want to do it for every page. First do the settings at once, then you duplicate the page when these settings have already been done, such that you don't repeat yourself for every page. So all this is planning in your mind. Otherwise, when you rush into creating page one and you create all the pages before you set them up, which means you'll set up each page separately. So you may leave the name right now, we shall put it later. Every page is a standard. I will show you what is a tooltip and what is a drill through, maybe in our next session. So it is not an allow, chew and aid, no, that one, no. That is an advanced, maybe we shall look at it, why you always need to check that. So on page information, we leave it. Now on canvas settings, here we have, it is 16 by 9. 16 by 9 is always the landscape setting for even bigger screens, that it is responsive even to a bigger screen or your small laptop. And for fonts, it is 9 by 16 instead, because it is portrait. So we go with this. But now, because we need a high resolution, I will always come and customize. Now on customizing, you see 16 by 9 represents 1280 pixels by 720 pixels. The pixels, this is on height and on width. It means that these are the pixels it can, how can I explain it? The screen you present it on, the moment it has these pixels or more than this, it will show better But if you present it on a screen that has low pixel, it is going to be a problem. So now, here I always use 1920 and 1080. That is always the standard we use to make sure that you get high principal. You can note it down, but it is not rocket science. You can always get it anywhere. So I use 1920 on width, then use 1080 on height. So the size nearly stays the same, but if you realize, if we had put here a chart, you would see now the chart becoming smaller. And when the chart becomes smaller, it gives me an opportunity of enough space even to enlarge it. That's what we mean with pixels. Then here they are saying top, we can always put it in the middle such that you see it leaves some space at the top and bottom. But when you say top, you see the top, which means your heading can go up to this lining, which I don't want, because now resizing and everything will always be an issue. So you put it in the middle. Now canvas setting done. We come to the background, canvas background. It is white. Let me first change for you the color. It is white. If we say we go with color blue, you see when I change color blue, nothing is changing. Why? Because the transparency is 100%. So if I reduce the transparency, you'll see the blue appearing slowly until it's that. You can never use such a background. So that's why we even don't want to use a color. If you always want to use a color, go with something like gray and also increase its transparency at least to that, such that when you put visuals, they pull off the background. So we are not going to use this option. We are going to import our file. So I'll click on that, and here we go, the PBI background. I'll go ahead and open it. Obviously, it first downloads because my files are on OneDrive. So you see the background we have brought, this is it. And because it is, you see the transparency, it shows 70%. Let's pull it up to there. It picks a bit. You can play with the transparency in case you want to reduce on the weight of contrast. Then another thing will be from fit, we put to fill. Don't stretch it. The moment you stretch it, if it was like an image, you can even put an image in the background. I remember when some of one of the analysis I was creating, it was supply chain dashboard. So I went and brought ships on the ocean, with containers like this. They are good background that you can get. I'll go to images, and you look out for a background that you can use in your image that will depict that instance of logistics, supply chain, and all that. So you look out for one that is not going to be cooperated maybe for that purpose of what you're running. So I'll get out one that shows maybe containers. If you're looking at problems in supply chain, your dashboard can have such a background, such that everyone knows that, yeah, we are dealing with problems. But anyway, joking. So you'll pick something like this. Yeah, I can take this. So right click and save the image. So I will put the image on my desktop, then go here. Then instead of that, let's first pick that image. So I'll go ahead, pick the image. This is it. There we go. Now the image picks, so you can always give it like a faint such that it doesn't eat up your visuals, something like that in the background. Then you make it, you can stretch it. For the image, you can stretch. Why I wanted to explain this, that sometimes when you stretch, the image stretches in a funny way that doesn't depict exactly the real life image it carries. So you can always put it on fill for that case. But now if you put it on fill and it is not carrying the size of your canvas, it leaves a space. That's why you'll always choose stretch. So that's the difference between stretch and fill. Such that when you start inputting your charts, and they will pick something in the background that really depicts the the report you're running. But we always put images like on a home page of your report. Then the other page that has visuals and charts and all that, you don't put the image because it distracts the users, right? So I'll remove that because that is now not what we need. I'll go back here, then cancel this, bring our own. That's it. Then you can play with the transparency. That is your choice. Then I will fit it here. I will fill it. Then it feels like this. So it means that when I'm done with this, in case now even I have other visuals I have to make before I duplicate. Like remember our report, our scorecards are the same. You can always leave it intact until you put your scorecards, then you can duplicate later, such that you don't do double work. So that's what we are going to go next. But now we can rename this maybe as our overview, like this. Then that's it. Now, the first thing we are going to start with scorecards, or we start with bringing in the logo. So we said you can begin with the logo. Just have it, you have it like with a website feeling that people are used to navigate websites. So when they come to your dashboard, it should be the same way how they navigate websites, the same way they are going to navigate your dashboard, such as you don't explain a lot. So here we are going to start with pulling in maybe our logo. How do you pull in our logo? Insert an image. This. The moment you insert an image, then look for your logo. So the moment you insert an image, the format pane for that image, if you have clicked on it, will be open here. The moment you click a chart, obviously it changes. So the format changes with what you click on. So when you click on that, then we come to style. Yes, here image. Then here there is upload image. So you come to browse. So I'll look for the image. My image, I'm looking for a logo, right? Let me see whether I can move that logo where I can see it. Let me move that logo such that I have its visibility nearby. Just a moment. Okay, I've got it. Here, let me put it in a folder that is nearby. So I've put my image in this folder. So if I open this folder, you see there is a logo. Now this logo is it is a different format, which is SVG. So the moment I open that, you see it loads. So it loads obviously because it has a background color. Now you see the purpose, the advantage of saving an image as SVG. It is scalable. Even if you expand it, it doesn't lose contrast. The pixels remain intact. So that's why you always need to save your images as SVG or JPEG. So I'll put there my logo, then we put a header. You can always bring the text, then you put the header here. This is going to be our sales performance report, or there we can now do overview since we are on overview page. Overview like this. So Control A, select that, bold it, and increase this to around 28. Then here we go. Then the other thing is you'll make sure that you remove the background. How do we remove the background? Anything you have selected, it will always give you the format for that. So when I come here to style, I can check off the background. You see now it takes the background of the report. So I need to increase this maybe to 36. There we go. Now, because overview is going to be the name of the page here, I will want to put overview in a different context. Like I'll select that, I make it italic, remove the bold, and also you can change the color to around gray, something like this. So you see that. So it is all about the way how you want people to have the feel. So it means that every page they drag on or they click on, I will be changing only this. Then the other one will remain like sales performance, overview sales performance, product, something like that. Or you can change even the name of the report here, depending on how you need it. Because performance now carries a defined identity. You can maybe put the name of the company, name them. Then the other thing, we shall have filters here. So filters, we shall decide, but let's first have the visuals. Now, which visuals do we start with? If we hover on our dashboard and see what it was communicating. So we have had the logo, we have had the heading. Now, before you put the filters, let's first go with this. So we shall start with revenue. So we shall bring a scorecard, right? Here is the scorecard. I'll reduce on this format. I'll reduce on that. So here is the scorecard. You see when you hover on it, it shows you card. So I'll click on that. Now this is our card. Now remember, I told you that when we asked ChatGPT, for Noeline, I think this may be different from what we did, but I think you'll follow up. Even we have videos on YouTube, you can reach them out and go through, refreshing your mind on a few things that have added since we had our classes. So here we ask ChatGPT also to give us the guide on how we are going to create our different cards. And you see it gave us the guide of everything, what you're supposed to do. Do this, pull this and put it in the call out, in the reference, put this, this, and that to make sure that you have it this way. So that's how we are going to do it. So which means we are going to pull a revenue and put it in the call out. Then after that, we shall go for the references. Let's go and do it. So here we pull reference, revenue, we put it under value. I told you here we have our measures. There are more of them. There are many measures we picked here, which we didn't actually put in the folders that day, but you can always search for your visual, for your measure from here. So we want revenue, which was this. So I can drag it and put it under values. And that's our revenue. Now, you see how the number looks like. It looks small because our resolution is high. And this is exactly how we need it, such that we don't struggle by reducing this, but it is already high. I think you'll understand this. Let's say if I copy this same one and take it on another page, let me first create another page. You see, here it increases on the size. And if I go ahead and reduce this canvas the more, let's say to 43, you see it increases this the more. So that's what canvas settings bring when you're looking at resolution. So now remember here we need everything with a background that is let me increase this such that we can view that. So remember here now it has a white background, but we want to ignore everything to do with background because we have our own backgrounds here. But before that, let's now first input the references. Remember we have to input the references of Y to date, month to date, and all that. So you'll come here and input the references here. So the reference is not for all. Because this is revenue, I will click on the revenue card. Because this is our revenue card, then we bring now the reference, just the reference labels here. Now the reference of obviously the revenue card is already picking the revenue reference labels. You can even click here and search for them directly. We want YTD. So you'll get where is revenue YTD, it is this. So you click on the revenue YTD. What else do we want? Still you can search from here. We want MTD. So MTD, we look out for the one for revenue. What else do we want? We want year on year, the percentage. But we want that one for revenue. Remember, others are for orders, quantity. So we want this. So this is what we go with, that one. Then we also need what else? We want the MOM, not Momo. So where is it? Where is it? Here it is. So there we go. Now, after I've got that, what should we do? The way how big it is, the moment I shrink, I lose this. So now we are going to work on the settings, on how we can put them right. Now on the settings, we start with the labels. So first of all, the labels here, if you want to work on each label, removing a title and all that, we know that all of them are revenue, so we no longer need anything to do with revenue. So there is an option to always rename from here. No. So you will always now go to title, which means on the labels, if you select the YTD, it has a title here, which you can say custom and change that title from revenue YTD to just YTD, like this. You get. Then you select another one. This is MTD. The title, we want a custom. Then you change this to MON, like this, MTD. So here I'm showing you the basics on how you can always put this together. Then the YO, because we already have this as a revenue, you don't need to put revenue year on year, revenue month on month. It is going to be a lot of clutter, and that's what we are fighting to reduce. So that you come on title and remove the first name because it picks the name of the measure. Then you put custom, you change, you remove that revenue. Then we go to the last month on month. Then here, that custom, you remove this. Sometimes it looks tedious, but you do this one. Then now, after you have done that, we want to make sure that these labels here on the layout, you see the reference label layout, we come on the layout. What is the layout of these labels? Why is it not showing? All. So the layout here, you see it is showing vertical because they're in the vertical way. So for me, I no longer need it vertical, I'll say horizontal. You see, they are going to be put horizontal. But horizontal, we need to look at the number of columns. Where? A minute. So we have the number of columns, the gap, the padding. Okay, as we look for the number of columns, because we have put many, maybe we are going even to reduce to make sure that they have that breakdown. So as we look at what's the shape, top left corner, left top right corner, these are the pixels you can add at the left, at the right, this spacing you're seeing there. Then there is also padding. If you reduce, let's say this to 5, you'll be seeing the change. You see the size has reduced between the spaces in the corners. Then even here the gaps, this is the gap you have horizontally between the other. Then the background, you can remove that background or you can have the background with a color that looks at the number. We are going to look at that. So if I say I remove the background totally, you'll see it remains white. Now, then what else do we need here? On the reference labels, the values. So I think we have gone through all, most of the bits, maybe working on the decimals, 2 decimal. If you want to reduce that, you can make it 1, and you'll see the decimals here changing depending on how you need it to run. So there are many settings. Obviously, you go through these settings and have the feel on how they run. So as of now, I'm going to remove 2 labels for now because it is, I think, cluttering. So apply these settings. I'm looking for the columns. So for now, let me go with only the percentages, or we can first remove these 2, and we run with the percentage. Now, the next thing, I'm going to remove all the backgrounds. Is there a message I'm missing? Oh no, it's something else. So we are going to remove the backgrounds. How do you bulk remove backgrounds? Just click on the card and come and search here for background. Anything that will pop up with background, then that is what we want to switch off. So you'll come on matte color here, remove background. You'll come on cards, remove background. Just switch it off. I think if you can relate now, the background, we are remaining with 1, which is on call out, remove background. Here it is off, here it is off. Then we come on size and that, we remove background. And now background is gone. If you look at this now, it is colorless, which means it matches now with the background we need. Now, what we still have are the borders, of which we also want to remove them. You see that gray borders? So this time you'll come and put here border like this. So anything that comes with a border, switch it off. Then under multicolor it is off, and visual it's off, and all the borders are gone. So what else do we need? I think so. When you look at this, at least we already have a card that is giving us maybe a picture we can run with. So on top of that, we shall look at maybe the customized where you don't use a background, maybe in our project. We shall be running at the end, or some videos I'll be sharing. I will always be tagging you on how you put a green glow when maybe this number is greater than or positive, and that comes when someone filters, because remember this is filter context. So when you're done with this, now there is putting colors. There are measures that we had for colors. If I can pick them up, you see like the year over year revenue color. So when you you look at this, it was showing that this is a switch function we didn't talk about, but what does it tell us? That whenever the revenue previous year is here, if it is blank, go with that color. So this is a hex code of which you can always search and look at what color it is. How you do this is you bring it, you can take it to maybe on any of the web and check which color is it, or you can also always check with PowerPoint that in case, let me create a new slide here. Let me show you how you check for the hex code. So you can insert like a tab here. So a shape. Yeah, this is a shape. So I'm inserting this shape. So when you go on fill and you go on more colors, and this is always the hex where wait a minute. Colors, we need to have hex. Here it is. So the moment I paste this here and do OK, it will always give me the color of that hex code. So that was a gray one. But I'm not saying that you can always pick them like that. But when you have colors for your own company, always create like a PowerPoint, put like these different shapes like this, and get your color codes. Like I can put a text here, let it be part of your archive. Like if my our colors is maybe this green and that, so if I pick here a green color and maybe I come here and you go to colors and you pick the real color you want, but do you know the hex code for this this color? You can come on more, and this is the hex code. So you can always have this hex code saved somewhere, that every time you need it, you have the code directly. You can save that code somewhere there. Obviously, it will always go with a hash. So these are hex codes. You can save the hex codes of your company colors such that you don't always hover around looking for those colors. So we go back to what we were looking at. We are looking at the hex codes. So here it shows that whenever this is applied, this revenue over year over revenue color, that when it is greater than 0, it takes this color. You'll find now this is green. When it is equal to 0, take that is gray. When it is beyond this, that is a negative, then it will always be red. This is a red color. If you can test it in your PowerPoint, this side, come here, shape, uh, go to more and paste it there, and okay, you see that's red. So now what does it mean that when you apply this as a function to any of the numbers here, it will always change the number when that measure changes? So let's do it. And we had those colors in our measure. This is a full measure. And even you can also ask ChatGPT to give you a certain color condition, that when my revenue is greater than this, please make this color like this, like this, like this. So how do you apply that measure? You can start with maybe the number itself, that is under call out. So under call out, our number is revenue, right? So on revenue, then you come under value. Now there is this, you see it is black. If I change this to blue, our number changes to blue, right? Our revenue changes to blue. If I change it to pink, it changes to pink. But we shall not want to do this always. We want when the growth changes, our revenue should change our color, something like that. Or you can say this color can remain always black, well and good. Then let's look at the references. We need them to change color when we have growth. Then it should be showing that, hey, we have growth this year. So there you come now on, you come on the values for revenue. So you come under revenue, then you say, okay, under revenue, we are looking at year over year. So year over year, you see it is gray. If I change this to blue to see how it changes, you see that is the label. The label changes blue. Here it changes red. And you also may want to leave that maybe in gray the way how it was. So I'm showing you the different colors you can change, but you don't have to change everything. So our focus is changing the 14.08 and this, whenever this is a positive. So we shall look now not for the title, but we shall go to the value. So the value is now the 14 point that. So when we come to the value and I change it to blue, you see it changing blue, but we want it to change automatically. So when you want to change automatically, you come to this FX. So the FX gives us the condition formatting. So when you click on this, it will open this dialog window. And on this window, you say, this time I'm going to work with a field value because you have a measure that is going to do that. So you click on the field value, and now here they want you to put that measure. And our measure, I will type color such that all of them come. Our measure is this, that if year over year revenue color is green, is above this, then it should be green. Is equal to 0, it should be gray. So the moment I click on that and I do OK, you'll see automatically this becomes green because it is a positive. Now, here now is the time to put a filter to test it out. So we can bring a slicer here. We can look for this slicer, this. And on this slicer, maybe we can put months. So we come and search for month here, like this. You look for the month that is under the calendar, which is this. So I'll drag this and put it there. So the moment it comes, let me first leave it like that. So if I click on January, you see it is green because it is 41. That is 31. March is green. Okay, that all is growth. Here now it is 0. You see it becomes orange, right? 0.0, it becomes orange. Then if I click on July, if I click on August, September, October, November, December. Okay, we don't have a red. We can bring another slicer. We can copy paste this and maybe put here instead of so we can have here. Where is our calendar year? This is it. Don't we have here under calendar fiscal year in calendar year label? This. Okay. Okay, let's look at 2024. One of the years, we see whether we have a drop somewhere. I see everything is green. Yes. Any question?
Yes, I saw
Yes.
you had a blank somewhere. How did you deal with it?
The blank on month.
Yes, there's a blank, like
Now,
blanks in the.
yes, month on month will never give you, actually all of them, they will always start performing or giving you values whenever you put a slicer or a filter for month or for any date. So they only work when you have selected a month. So month on month, how will you know which month you're comparing before you select a month? Because we are still having all data cluttered together. So the moment I put a month slicer, that's when now, because when you click on April, it means the 65 is a comparison between March and April because you have given it what to compare with. So the moment I select maybe more than one, just press a control, select more than one. Obviously, it is also now comparing 4 months because I've selected now 4 months. It is now comparing this data with the 4 months that is December, November, October, and September for the previous year. That's how month on month works. So the moment you delete this, let's say I delete it like this. Okay, let me see, allow. The moment I delete it like this, and because also this is time, that's why you're seeing a 0. Let me also delete this. Month on month will give you a 0 or it will give you a blank. Because here we have done some settings, now the dashes are now giving you 0. It is giving you a 0 because it has no month to compare with. You haven't selected any month for it to compare with. So I can
Okay, how
undo
about
this.
the slicer? In the slicer, you also had a blank. That one.
Oh, yeah, in the slicer, let me,
Oh, sorry.
uh, no, it's fine, it's fine. So in the slicer, let me undo and get back my slicer for, okay. I think I've lost it. It is just a matter of copying, pasting this. and changing this to month. So so this is, make sure you remember always to pick any time intelligence from date, the dim date. You know the reason why we are doing that, because of the data modeling, that we are not using any date rather than what is on the dim date, because all of them are connected here. So I'll go with that. So in case you see now, before I brought this, maybe that's when you saw a blank. You see this blank? It means
Yes.
that somewhere you're not picking month. Let's say you have like blank data somewhere where you're not picking dates, which they couldn't give you a month. So what you always do in such a slicer, to make sure that you don't confuse your people, you always come to filter here, and when it is still selected, you come here on months and select everything but not blank, such that it is doesn't always even come up in selections. Then even the same here, you come here on filter, select everything, remove blank. But now that means that you still have some job to do in your transformations the other side in Power Query Editor. You can always go back and see where this blank is coming from and kill it from there. But now, not going back that side and figure out where it is coming from, you always have a filter here to run that out. So now we can change these filters here on slicer settings, and you say, I don't need them to be vertical, let me make them to be drop down. So then when you make it a drop down, this is the way how it appears. It becomes a drop down where you have to select the month. Then also there is a selection here. There is a single selection. If you want only 1 month should always be selected at a time. So you will always come and enforce single selection like this. So which means single selection, you see even it changes now to a radio button, which means I can't select more than one. So the users will always have to select only 1 month, right? That's where you manage it from. Then also this, the calendar year. Just I've picked the calendar year, but you can always change. So this one I can make it also a drop down. I can also enforce such that only 1 year is always picked. Then there is also an option. If you enforce single selection, you don't get this option of select all. So if you want at some point your users to select all, you can always don't enforce single selection, then the select all will be enforced. And how it does that appear? That when you come here, they always have select all, which means they can select all the years. Then also on months, you can remove the single selection and you check select all, such that when they check here, they can select all. So that is always maybe a good way to run this, which means now our filters, we can bring them here and this here. Obviously, you can reduce them to make sure that they capture the longest selection you have, like September. So if September is visible, you can reduce it the most, such that it doesn't take your space for nothing. So that is month. Then also year here is, you can also reduce it to the more like this. And even you can change that heading by, when you selected it, you can always come to where there is title and values. You can always come and type here title. So all the titles will come, then this is the title. So you can always change this to year like this. So now those are our two slicers you have. You can always work on them, create maybe good boundary borders and all that, but all that doesn't matter. For now, let's keep it this way. Okay, now I have said maybe repeating this, you always get month on month calculated when you have a slicer for months. So that if you select here August, then you'll see this changing. June, you'll see that changing like that. Now, let's also change month the same way. So we shall come here on select the revenue. remove any filter you have, then go back to the reference labels. This time we want year on month, month on month. Then you come, we are not changing anything with the title, leave them as that. Then come on value, under color condition, come and make it a condition, and we pick the condition the same way. Field value, we have our condition already. Color, which is this. So select that. Now this one actually, do we have month on month? Let me see, color. So we don't have month, actually month on month is here. So we can select the month on month revenue, but you'll find that it is the same. But now this one gives it a way that if year on year is a negative and month on month is a positive, let month on month be green, then the other one be red. It shouldn't match with the same color because of year on year. So you can always make it separate. So you see now that becomes green like that, which means if I select March, let me bring it near here. So that way you see the changes. This is exactly what I was talking about. So giving each its own color behavior, that month on month, the month of Feb, which means from comparing with January, we have a negative growth. But if we compare with last year, Feb last year and Feb this year, we have a growth comparing with last year, right? The year that is selected here. But here now all of them are selected, which means if I click on 2024. So you'll see now 2024 Feb compared with this is now 2024 of Feb. But now when you compare with 2023, we have a growth. But when we compare this year, 2024, and January, because this is months, same year, January, we have a decline. So that can describe something. That's now what context you're giving to the people you're presenting to. Yes, they have seen the revenue, but so what? Are we growing? Are we declining? So here you show when we compare with last year, we are growing, but when we compare with last month, we are declining. Maybe because last month has maybe an event where you did a high supplies and all that. Now that can explain. Now that's what comes in the context you put at the bottom this side to explain some of the scenarios that should go with that. So I think that is it. Now there is also an option. You can always put maybe the background of the value instead of the number. So here you can come, let's select this again. I want to show all the avenues such that the other cards, it's going to be easy for you. Oh, Linda has dropped, but I think she will be coming back. So here, here we considered the value, but if we want to consider the background, oh, the background will be everything. Okay, maybe we can first leave out that. But the background is maybe if you put any shape behind here and you want that shape to become red when month on month is negative, you can also do that. But obviously it takes another expense of bringing in new shapes and all that. But as of now, maybe I will post a video on that. As of now, this one we can run with this. Then also you can give the other revenue, which is the call out. You can also, that is now the revenue, you can also give it its own function color. So here you come, you say field, then when you go to color, then this also has the revenue. So you do okay, and here you go. So it means that when you do change here January, you see everything is green and all that. So you get. So it becomes easy. Now here everything is red, meaning that we had a challenge on that still. So that is it. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to replicate this for the other matrix. That is, you copy now this, paste here. You do the same. You do the same for all the others. You do the same for this. Then now here it becomes easy for you now to change one by one, which means now let's go to this. This was about, I think, profit. So let's change this quickly. Now what do we, it means some of the settings we have changed them, they are common. A few things we are going to change that will help us quickly adapt this together. Now here, just a moment. Here we are going for profit, then after that orders. So here we are going now to start with this. We are changing this to profit. So I will put in profit, and this is the profit. I'll click on that, boom. All the other labels disappear because those labels were for revenue. That's why they all disappear. Then we shall come here and put its own labels right here. On the labels. So when you always get confused, first collapse everything. Collapse all categories like this. No, that is expand. Collapse all of them, then you see what you want. Don't always over scroll. So here we shall come on the labels. Here we start now the labels we need year on year. Percentage, but this time profit. It is this. Then now remember, now you see it is coming as a decimal because it is not set to, okay. The moment we select, okay, we shall select it later. Let's first import month on month. But remember, you're going for profit, that. So it is here where we can go ahead and remove now change the title. We are applying this on labels. Our labels, this is the profit label. Then we come here, we change year over year, the title, custom. We are changing this year over year. Then you can now even go ahead and go to the value and change the function directly, because now we know what we are supposed to change. So change that to field value. Then now this time we are still color, but the color now is profit. It is no longer revenue, but it is profit margin. So we shall go with this for all. So go with that, okay. Then also go to now month on month, change the title to custom like this, change that. So when you practice this, it is going to become the easiest thing you can always go for. Right now you may see like it is too much being done, but this is the easiest you can always go for. So here I will also change this to value, change this to color, search for color, then we'll look out for profit margin and go ahead, okay. Now let's change this to percentage. You change them from here, right? So you come to profit, you look for those that year over here and space. So we have this. So the moment you click on the measure, which we know how the measure was done, so you just click this percentage, such that it changes to percentage. Then you do the same to that margin year over year. Where is it? Here it is. You also click on it and also do percentage. This one will change automatically percentage. Boom. So has it changed? Or we are dealing with something else? Okay, it has changed. Now, even there is the profit year over year these arrows. Now, this one you can also apply it instead of the color, you can go and apply this. So, which means we can apply it on the labels here, where so you see we had got the profit year over year arrows. What does it mean? That when the profit is positive, you bring this arrow. When the profit is negative, you bring this. When it is that, you bring. So you can also apply it, and how you apply it the same way. So which means now that one you can come and put it under details. You see where we also have a function for details. Let me shrink this. Just a moment. Collapse that. Then we have this part of details. So when we come to details and put it on, you see it is giving us a funny one. Let's look for this details year over year. We put it here. Is it changing anything? Wait a minute.
No, it has not changed.
Yeah, we are supposed to put it under this value. Let me see arrow. This is profit. Yeah, we're on month, eh? Then we'll do okay. It is at the bottom. The background, we just put it to, okay. This is disappearing everything. So let's see how we can have it at the labels. Now, another thing, not to disturb yourself, sometimes you can create it a custom. Actually, that's what I wanted maybe to show you. You can create it a custom such that the color comes with the arrows themselves. So let's say the profit year over year is this, right? I can update this such that even the color, so I will copy this, take it to my ChatGTP. That should always be your handed tool. So I'll take it to our ChatGTP here. You get that. This is where we created. So you can even create a new chart. So I will paste this here, then even bring the other one, which was color, profit year over year arrow. Then where is color? Where is color? This. So we'll also copy this year over year, then put it here. Then at the start, you can prompt combine the two conditional formatting measures into one. So we run that, then we are going to check it out one, then we shall. Now here it gives us the combination, the indicator, and it will also show you how you need to run it. This is just another option using the Unicode colored something, but let's go with this. So here it uses now variables by combining both, such that we need to apply it as one. So however, the important is one standard DAX cannot simultaneously return the arrow as display text that or hex that because the measure returns one scalar value. Obviously, Power BI has still those limitations, but let's copy this and go and try it out. So here, as always, you'll come and create a new measure and that one I'm just showing you in case you always want to customize your own bit, or when you have been given measures by ChatGTP and you want to put them your own way, you can always go with that. So let's first create this. So that is created. Then we are going to apply it. So let's try it out here. So here obviously I'll first put up the labels, then come on value. For that, the moment you get lost, please always collapse everything. You start afresh. Always collapse everything. Then you come to our labels. Then apply settings to profit. Yes. Then we're looking at month on month. So month on month, and we're looking at the value. Let's clear this and we insert now what we have got. So this is the value rule. Then the other one was called indicator, right? Indicator, this is it. And we do okay. So that is where now the problem is, that the indicator will not work automatically because of the combination. So which means you get limited whether to have the other one or this. But most of the cases, the arrows are always added with the month on month, the month on month percentage measure, which is this. So you add the arrows here. So if we can maybe apply this here, update the above arrows with the measure this. So it means that your measure of month on month is the one that is going to come with the arrows. You see this, such that it is already having that. So if you want arrows only, then cleaner this way. Then for month on month, if you want these, then you go with that. So I needed that for arrows. So you can choose any. Let's just take this just for the trial. So obviously I want it in this, so I will create a new measure. Here we go. Now this is the month on month indicator. So I will input this. And what it is returning these arrows. Month on month greater than this. No, this one also returns arrows without, it returns arrows without tax month on month. Update the month percentage measure with the arrows as one. So it has to create a variable. Then after that, the variable for arrows, then this is the return I needed, where it gives us the value and the format, then the arrow in front. Such as this is the example we shall be getting. This is what I needed. So I'll copy this and replace it with maybe month on month, such that we don't change a lot. So I'll look out for that month on month. Where is it? This. Then I will update this and save. So it will automatically update here. You get now, which means after it has updated, then we can bring our color. So that's it. So when you bring your color now, because it is a negative, that's why it is giving you that. Then if it is positive, then it has to give you the red one. So here you see here we used the wrong color because this is supposed to be a red. So when we are to use these conditions, let year on year has its own, month on month gets its own, like how it was done here with the revenue. So you have to consider all that. So here you can come and change. Yeah, it is the month on month. Then we can come and input now this color as color. It was for profit margin. So we only had one color for profit margin. So you can get the different colors to make sure that you see now, wow, the other one disappears. But anyway, oh, I'm applying on a wrong, here, then that, then, yeah, it is. But what we are looking at the profit margin doesn't replicate what it is meant to give. But I just wanted to show you the color. So sorry, the arrow. So that color you can always change it because you see when it is down, that's where it is showing green, and yet here it is supposed to be showing red. So you get the different colors. But that you can do it at your own ample time. So my focus was to make sure that you get the basics. So here we go ahead and change the same for orders. You change the same for orders and quantities. I don't know whether we still have time that can allow to do that. So here now you go ahead and change this now to orders. These are the orders. So the other one disappears, then you come and deal with the labels separate by putting here year over year. This is the order percentage, and month on month, not Momo. For the orders still, this is it, right? So obviously you know how you go ahead and make them percentages and also customize that. So that being done, yeah, your dashboard will start picking shape. Obviously, a lot is still missing, but at least you'll find that at least now some of the KPIs are picking shape, and the context. You're explaining exactly why that is negative, this is positive. Then what I didn't show you is this divider. So there is that divider where you can always change its color when you come to format. You can always come and look for divider here. So where this is the divider, you see it. So you can always change its color and even increase its width in case you want to. So to make sure that it is clear enough, or you can even make it dash like that, such that it doesn't shout so much. Then we can also include the accent at the top, but that one you're not going to include it because we switched off all the boundaries. But in case you have the borders, like this, let's say this is the visual border, and which other border do we need? Do we need to put on the multicolor? No, not the multicolor. So the visual border, let me see if it has appeared here. So when you look at that visual border, you can now work on the visual border separate. Let me put this and work on it separate. You see how it, even if you didn't have these, this is the way you can manage it such that the visual border you can say, this visual border, I'm going to give it a roundness of maybe 6. You see that is the roundness we have given it. You can increase it on width, and that is the width. Then you can, let me first remove this, then we go directly to the card and look for, to the call out and look for that border. Right, card border. This is the visual border we're talking about, this. So you can put a shadow, and when you select here, you see now it is becoming more solid and independent. Now that shadow, you can even go ahead and play with that shadow and you say, by the way, my shadow, I want that shadow to pick the color, the gloss color of maybe the numbers here. The moment I'm green, the shadow goes green. So you can always come and play with it here on color. That's the purpose why we create those measures of colors. But when you come on field value and say this is profit, right? Then I'll search for the profit color. Just search for color, such that it comes this. Then I go ahead and do OK. Now you see it is green. The moment I don't know whether we shall get a red. There is no red for that month. I went at dust to see how it changes red. Okay. And let me change to another year. So nearly everything here is green. Okay. But when you create search, you see that at least it picks separate than how the other one was. The other one was so plain. And you do this in case you're not going to come to bring the borders from the other side like this, such that you create the borders directly here. And why we don't have it dynamic for the borders that came from PowerPoint, because this is already a picture. You can't change. So when you want to change such that you see the changes happening with the change of color or the data, then you can always do it from this side. So when you have measures that condition color, you can always change anything. So now you see we have changed just the shadow. You can even manage on whether to be inside or outside or bottom right, depending on how you want your shadow to be. It will take that shape. But things like shadows, they always distract. So I will switch that off. Then there is something else we call accent, but it is not on the visual border. It is on the border for the call out. Maybe we shall talk about that next time. But otherwise, right now, I think there we go. So here I have added a background color, which means even the background color you can choose it to run with the rules you have created, the field values you have created. Like this, yeah, and OK. You see now the background that it is green because the profit is green, maybe, but search, you see now it turns red because I think I use it for revenue. So most of the cases you may want to use this, but it does shout a lot in your report. That's why you may not go with search. But if you tune these ones well to put them to white and all that, such that you always have either green color or a red color, maybe it can be like one of the KPI that has to pick focus on all of them. You can always go for that, but I don't recommend this. So you always keep it simple. And even the visual, we are getting it off. We go back to our native like this. I think I've extensively covered most of the things you can do on a scorecard. Now, whatever you have done on a scorecard, you can even apply them on the different visuals, but not all of them. So the other thing I will leave you, Linda, I think I'll request you to try out and share with us on WhatsApp how you have gone. Then Noelina, you can also try out when you have time with any data set, or even the data right now you're running with, maybe business. You can go ahead and upgrade how your scorecards have been looking like to make sure that at least they pick such. It is clean, there is enough white space, and the context is direct. Then always you can maybe give other descriptive narrative statements at the bottom that can explain these numbers, right? Then also this header, you can always move it at the top. It is very easy. That is a title for the call out, which means when you come on Malt, here, no, not on title here on call out. Just a moment. Profit, then value, okay, let me search for title and all titles will come. So this is for labels. For labels, we have meanwhile, if you have any question, because we are ending, if you have any question, please you can go ahead and ask. Then something else I wanted to talk about was the accent bar. This is how it looks like. When you put a bar, you see this bar that has appeared at the left. So that we call it accent bar. So you can always also put it either on the left or at the top like this, and you can always also increase its width like so. Then that works best when you're having like a border, then it is attached to a border and it creates that uniformity. Or you find that you may be having different visuals for different where you needed to give them different colors, then you give this accent maybe a blue, something like that. Then maybe here you give it a green. Maybe those categories you want them to pick different colors on your report, such that someone sees a blue, knows that this is branch maybe Mukono. Maybe a purple, this is branch Kasese, such that it can give users that feel when they are looking at your data. So you can always run it. That's the accent bar, but I don't need it for now since we switched off borders. I think I've explained everything. Then the padding, this is the spacing between here and the borders outside. So you can reduce, you can increase. If you want to do individual, then it will give you this box where you reduce the left, right, bottom, and top. Yeah. Then the glow, this is putting a glow on the side. Let me put it here and I show you how the glow looks like. So if you say I need a glow of purple outside center, this is bottom right. Anyway, the glow is not going to come because we had switched off the background. So the glow will not come. But the glow is nearly like a shadow, but the glow for it comes in a different way than how shadows are. So that's it. For the other charts, I will ask you to go and review that video for, there is one of the, I think Tuesday. For it, we went ahead and even had these visuals together. Then maybe if you give me 2 minutes, I show you how we put navigations. So let's say you have done everything and now you're going to duplicate now your reports. So you create a duplicate here, you create another duplicate, you create another duplicate. Then you come and say, this is going to be product. That is product performance, which means I will double click that and bring it here. Remember, that's what we had said. Or we can paste it in front, then I delete that. Then we call this, what was it? Region, maybe region performance. So you can copy that, paste here in front, then remove this. So these are different pages. Then even this, you can say this is maybe finance, depending on how you're going to make your thing. Then you click here and delete this. Here we go. Now, how do we create navigation bars? Let's start from here. The navigation bar, you just come on insert, then you come and look for buttons. You go up to the bottom, navigation bars, then you look for page navigator. The moment you click that, the page navigator will automatically pick all the names of the pages which are here and give it in a horizontal way. but we don't need it in a horizontal way because we don't need to put it at the top, like how you see websites where they have overview product and that, where they have about resources, maybe our services and all that. We want it vertical. So you click there, you look for its format, then it should give you a grid layout somewhere. This is horizontal, we need it vertical. The moment you put it vertical, you come and increase this like this. So you should be able to put this one here. So you reduce it to max to make sure that it fits there like that. So which means maybe even at the end of the day, we never needed this border. You may have left it out. But here there is a lot of formatting that comes with this, reducing, increasing bold, text and all that, style. There is a lot. When you hover, when you select what should happen, you can go try out that. It will be our next part to kick off with. So yeah, they are using rectangle. You can say I want rounded rectangle like this. Then you see how it appears. So that now becomes your navigation. So the moment I select it again, we can use rounded rectangle percentage. Then here you increase the percentage for the roundness. Then you can come to the style and work on the text. So default every text, we can put it at 16 for now. That's it. Then anything selected, we also put it at maybe 14, you get. Then now anything selected here, you see the fill is black. You get that, that's why it is black there. That it is the page we are on, that's why it is black. Others can remain grayed out or white, showing that they are not yet selected. Even you can change the borders to make sure the other one is highlighted. Then when you are okay with everything, you copy it and take it to other pages. Just paste, it will take the same position like that. So it means that, you see now we are under finance, finance is selected. When we go under region gets selected. Such as when you're sharing your reports, always these ones are hidden. Users don't see these. They will just be clicking here. When you press a control, click on overview, it goes under overview. You click on products, it comes under products. You click on regions, it goes under region like that. So if you have multiple pages, people will always navigate pages like that. And when we reach an advanced stage where you're sharing with everyone, but you don't want people to look at the finance page, it means the finance page is given a level security. You tag some people that can access finance, others can't access it. They can't even see the button. The button is off for them. They only see the 3 buttons, they can't see the finance. You, the developer, you see everything, but the people who are assigned what to see, here on, we do it from here under modeling. You see manage roles and view as. You create roles from here, but that is an advanced way to manage this. But let's first understand this. But there is a lot to do and a lot when you're developing such dashboards. So that's what I wanted to end with, such that now you're able to create a full report. I want to see how you're going to create the other visuals. Very easy. Work with the formats to make sure that you put the right formats and don't clutter them. Give them space and put what is important. That's why you see here we only picked out shapes that give the importance of this analysis. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Only 5. The moment you have these scorecards and you have your 5, then you're good to go, right? So I think that is it. Well, I don't want to waste your Sunday. I will be sharing this recording on that course, then you should be able to look it out. Otherwise, maybe if you have any question.